Here goes.
Yes.
Here goes. Starting the show. Happening now. Begins in the usual countdown. 3, 2, 1.
What a delicious feeling. New Cocoa Pebbles.
Sure, tastes better than ever. Looks more chocolatey. Looks chocolatey.
It's funny because I don't know him.
The morning stream. It's a thing with stuff.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the morning stream. It is a thing with stuff, and it's May 14th. It's Thursday. It's 2020. I'm Scott Johnson. That guy's Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian Ibbett. Good morning.
Hi, Scott Johnson. How are you?
I'm okay. Knowing what I know about your night last night, I'm less okay because it was kind of a sad thing to hear.
It was a poopy night. Yeah,
we ought to just bring it up. Let's rip
the Band-Aid off and just kind of get it all out of the way. So, a couple days ago, I held up an adorable little kitten named Mango that Tristan and Kay had gotten on Saturday. He was the runt of the litter, and because of that, we were having to kind of hand feed him with an eyedropper and things like that. We were basically, Claire Gack is already like, kind of already predicting what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But so we were taking care of him while the kids were at work because he kind of had to be fed every 2 to 4 hours, and his sweet little heart just wasn't strong enough, and kind of was unresponsive. Last night at the kids' house, they rushed him over to an emergency vet, and they did everything they could, and Mango is no longer. He's up in that little kitty bed in the sky.
Yeah,
but
that's such a bummer.
Here's the thing: we gave him the best week of his life, taking care of him, giving him a lot of love and just attention nonstop when he was here at our house, and the kids were doing the same at their house. And it was just a situation where he just didn't have what he needed to make it. There apparently were some other, and Tristan needs to let me know the disease, but there was some other things that apparently were going on with him. Something similar to feline leukemia.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
That he basically had all the cards stacked against him. So that he made it for the week that we had him was a blessing. So
that's a sweet little thing. That makes me sad. I had this happen to a puppy when I was younger. We had a puppy it was a runt also. Runts just sometimes have the stuff, man. They just have a hard time. Plus, wasn't this cat kind of torn from its mother too soon and all that stuff?
Way too. The mother, the mother was, the mother cat apparently was just not giving the runt giving Mango any love or basically she was kind of distancing from him. So and again, we don't know all of the story because it was a friend of a friend, and the aunt of a friend of Tristan that had this litter of kittens. So we don't even know the full situation. But
well, the tadpole got to hear him meow once, and got to see his little face, and
he was a sweetheart, and
that sucks.
So anyway, ripping that Band-Aid off really quick, and then we can get to the rest of the show.
Now we can get back to the
show. I know that Free Hotel Room he's already tuned out, and he's typing up a hastily worded letter.
Yeah, either a letter or another Fred and Can joke I won't use. He might be writing that up.
Yes,
we'll see.
Exactly.
All right,
dedicating this show to Mango, and there we go.
There you go, Mango. This show is for you, little guy. All right, so I got a few things here in the morning to get to. My sister will be here later. We got a great email to go over, or at least I think it might be a good one for
I think it might be an email.
It might be an email. Yeah. It is an email that we know. Whether it's good or not, well, we'll have to find out. But we got a message from Oak Dragon, who has a suggestion about your Battle Royale stuff. So it says this. It says, I suggest, now I don't know if this is a slight toward the subject matter or what this is, but it says, I suggest when you have a third, he says, I suggest when you have a third person, i.e. Randy, in Babel Royale, you should refer to it as Babel Royale with cheese. Now, he's either saying Randy's cheesy, or he's just saying,
is there an or? Really?
He might just be saying that the Babel Royale is like a burger, and we're just adding a new ingredient.
Oh, and we're adding one extra delicious ingredient.
Yes, possible.
Well, that's a very nice way to describe it.
Yeah, Jedi.
I'd like to think that Randy does bring a sense of cheese. I mean, seriously, you could say the same thing about Dunaway, that he brings cheese, I bring cheese, you bring cheese.
Oh yeah, it's just variable.
We're all kind of cheesy.
Yeah, variable stinky cheeses we bring.
We are. We're a smorgasbord of different cheeses, but we are all cheese nonetheless.
Yeah. What do they call that when you get a plate full of cheese and like little
crudité?
We're a crudité of,
That's right.
of cheese.
We should almost rename our movie show Film Crudité.
There you go, Film Crudité.
no one would be able to find it because they wouldn't know how to search for it.
Nobody knows how to search for crudité or spell it, especially me. So
right.
Don't do it. But also, it also might be a reference to Pulp Fiction, as Jedi 71 points out.
Sure.
So maybe that's the
it's
joke.
Definitely. I mean, it's obviously a reference to Pulp Fiction on its surface. I just think it's also a reference to Randy being cheesy.
Yeah, bring in the cheese.
It's rare that we have both of them. Usually we pull Randy in when Brian can't make it. So
that's true. It's rare that we ever. Oh yeah, wouldn't it be a Babel? Yeah, see, this doesn't work because when Dunaway's not here, it doesn't count because it's only three people. It's only the three of us.
A meatless Babel Royale with cheese.
A vegan Royale? Is that what it is?
A vegan Royale. There we go.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
A Babel Royale Deluxe. I know. I mean, it feels like that's.
Oh yeah. Why are we not including the word deluxe in there? I mean, what are we doing?
It's built into his name. He is Randy Deluxe.
Okay. This is my relationship with my daughter. I just got a text, buzzed in my pants, picked it up, looked at it. Taylor Johnson to our group called the Animal Crossing Gang. Turnip prices? ? That's my relationship now with my daughter. Taylor is always on the hunt for the best turnip prices, and I keep telling her she's got to get into this group thing, and we'll all do it together. Did you find anything?
We need to get her into the AIE FERT group.
Yeah, we can totally do that. Did you already sell, or what'd you do?
Yeah, Bill from ANTP Run Jump Stomp. Had 465 yesterday.
Dude.
His wife actually had 465. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really good. So you made a tidy sum on your 2 giant bags full.
I did. What did I do? I did.
Oh, except wait, you had to go. Think of this. You had to go there, sell it all, go all the way back home, dump your money, grab a whole nother set, do that whole flight nightmare all the way there again. That is some commitment, dude.
I didn't though.
Oh,
because on Tuesday, I had also sold one batch. So basically, if somebody says, "Hey, I've got really good prices," I'm saying, here's what I always do. This is the first time that I've ever done 2 batches of turnips.
Sure.
But I sold some on Tuesday, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to make them sit there and watch my stupid landing screen over and over again. I will sell 1 batch, and I'm sure I'll get another batch. I'm trying to remember who I sold to on Tuesday. But I sold, it was around the same as 447 on Tuesday and then 465 on yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on 2 million in the bank.
Wow, that's insane. Bobby Frank says he got 605 yesterday, or sold at 605.
Oh, wow.
He says he did it on some weird island named Stink Lady.
So he must have gone to the Turnip Exchange,
that
website Turnip Exchange.
Yeah.
Which is a gorgeous, again, I think I mentioned this. We know somebody, it's in the Frog Pants community, that somebody has a friend who put that thing together. But that site is gorgeous. I tried one day and I could never get past any queues. And so I'm like, screw this. I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, it's kind of a nightmare unless you're doing it at a weird time of day when no one else is doing it or something. It's just bad.
Exactly.
So this is how this conversation as it's gone on since I last mentioned it.
This is the Carter conversation.
Yeah. So Taylor says turnip prices. I said 60, frowny face.
Oh, Taylor. Okay.
Yeah, and then Carter says my Switch is all the way across the room. And then Taylor says, "But Carter, I sent you a new rug. You have to get it." Then she says, "I'm on a zoo call." Or she meant Zoom.
Yeah, but she's on a zoo call.
My kids are way into this game. They're too much, maybe. All right.
That's awesome.
Let's tell you this other message here we got from Heather.
Yeah.
So I've mentioned
Which
Jobby.
I still feel only tells half the story, but please go ahead.
Sure. What? Cancel. I said Heather, you a-hole. Hold on. Alexa, stop. All right. Sorry, everyone that heard that and had their Alexa go off. And then again when I said the name again. All right. Well, how would she get that from Heather? Hold on. Heather.
I don't know.
Heather. Stupid echo. All right. Anyway, where was I? Oh, all right. So some time ago on the show, I'd mentioned that when my brother was young and he had to poop, my mom would say, "Do you need to make a jobby?"
That's right. Yes. I was trying to remember where we used that particular 5-letter word. Yes.
Yes. So she'd say, "Oh, you got to make a jobby. You're going to do a jobby." That's what she'd say. So Heather, who apparently is on an older episode of the show because we haven't talked about this in a while, sent a message and says, "Hello, regarding jobby, it is a word that is commonly used in Scotland. Thanks for the podcast, Heather." So
does she mean to reference poop?
I don't. Well, see, she didn't give a lot of details. This is all she wrote. Like the old phrase.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all she wrote. And it bums me out because I'd like to know, well, maybe I don't want to know what a jobby is over there, but what do you what's the usage in Scotland? Are they all walking around going, "Hey boys, if you want to get a jobby, you'll have to," like what are we doing? That's a pirate for some reason. I need a pirate.
Yes, exactly. Hey, did you leave a jobby there on the side of the road?
I pulled over to get a jobby. Yar.
Yar, it stinks, I tell you.
I can't do Scottish. I can do Irish. I can't do Scottish. And I wish I could.
Scottish is, for me, it's kind of pirate, basically.
It's a little piratey, but you think you've got...
Especially when I throw the word yar in there, yeah.
Yeah, yar. There you go. Anyway, Heather...
Lieutenant Yar!
If you want to clarify, we would be open to your clarification. Okay? So it's up to you.
Yeah, because when I hear the phrase jobby, I'm not thinking of a poop.
You're thinking of a sexual act.
Exactly.
I like how.
Yeah,
I like how hesitant you were.
I heard Brad got a jobby in the back of his Lexus.
I hope Car, you're not listening to this episode, are you? Are you in here? She might be in there.
Listen, I didn't use any adjectives before it.
No, it's all good. She's on a zoo call, so everything's fine.
Oh, that's right. That's true. She's on a zoo.
Yeah, she made a zoo. She bought a zoo. Or what's that? I never saw that movie, that Matt Damon deal.
We bought a zoo?
Yeah.
I didn't either.
Oh, you never saw it? Okay.
No, because I feel like it gives too much away in the title.
Yeah, because they were literally, that's what it's about, right? They bought a zoo.
Literally, we bought a zoo. Like, yeah.
It's a little on the nose.
What's another movie where we could change the title to basically just give the whole movie away? Like,
oh man.
I See Dead People Like Bruce Willis would be.
Give the twist away.
Give the twist away. Yes. Titanic. Yeah, that kind of does give the whole.
Oh yeah,
away.
the Titanic is that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, John dies at the end. Yeah, but that was fun to see how John died at the end, though. That was like that doesn't tell you what happens. That tells you the ultimate what happens, but not how you got there. And that's why John dies at the end still works, I think.
Weekend. I'm going to change that around a little bit, Matuba. How about Weekend at Dead Bernie's?
There you go. Yeah. There you go. See, that's a whole
Weekend at the recently deceased Bernie's house.
Yeah. The Empire has a guy in it who's Luke's dad. Strikes Back.
The Empire's your dad.
Yeah, the Empire's your dad. Bill and Ted's. No, see, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, it tells you there's an adventure, but it's vague enough you don't know what the adventure is.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Keep pretending they're always our little girls. What, Essential Tremor? Oh, my kids, yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah. She's 23 now. I still,
Yeah, of course.
Like if we're watching a movie or something, there's some sex scene. I know, I understand why my dad threw a blanket over the TV. You just have a dad gene kick in that says, my girls, don't expose them to this. The world's harsh enough. Blanket on the TV. Which I never did, but he did all the time. Which we've talked about before.
Yes.
All right. Oh, there you go.
Great sense.
Bill and Ted's time-traveling adventure for a class final. That's a good
Bill
one.
Bill and Ted get the princesses.
Yep. Sherlock Holmes is really con. That's the Star Trek 2.
That's good.
Star Trek Into Darkness. Very good.
It's like, wait, Robert Downey Jr. was in a Star Trek movie? What?
Yeah, yeah, that's the one. It's Data.
Indiana Jones hides in a fridge from a nuclear.
No, that just gives away the worst thing in film history.
Exactly, yeah.
The worst moment.
Indiana Jones and the stupid alien. Stupid alien. Deus Ex Machina.
Did we end up film sacking that, or did I put my foot down and say no, we're never doing that? I don't remember.
Oh, I hope you didn't put your foot down on that.
Oh, my foot is so down on that. I don't ever want to see it again.
Really?
I hate it. I hate it so bad, Brian. Like, really hate it. Beyond sack worthy, beyond any of that. I think Indiana Jones 4 is just a heaping pile
there we go.
of poop.
January 27th, 2019. So just a little over a year ago, we sacked it.
All right, so
Episode 408.
So we're done. We don't have to do that again.
We don't have to do that ever again. We'll wait until the train wreck that Indiana Jones 5 will probably be.
Yeah.
I'm
BioCow
just going to
says
set the bar low. My
Yeah.
expectations are going to be low, and I'm hoping that it.
maybe it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Might be fine. BioCow says Crystal Skull's the best Indiana Jones movie. I loved it. I still like you, BioCow, despite all that. I really do. I like you no matter what.
You're killing me, BioCow.
Yeah, you're. I can't tell if he's serious. Can you actually? Is that real, BioCow? Is that real?
It's not. He's messing with us.
He has to be kidding.
Yeah.
All
exactly.
right.
Which is the best Final Destination, though? That's what I want to know.
Well, we're gonna find out. Oh no, it's not this. Or is it this weekend?
Yeah, we're watching it this weekend for Film Sack.
Everyone says 2's the best one, and we're about to watch Final Destination 2.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. So we'll see, and then 3 and 4 and whatever else is after that may happen because it feels like a series that we would probably slowly go through. But I keep hearing 2's the bomb because there's really grisly deaths in it. So
it's perfect for people who like both murder and Rube Goldberg.
yeah, right? Oh, Rube,
Yeah.
Mr. Goldberg, you're the best.
Yes, he has eyebrows.
You sure does. All right, hey, time for a little bit of news here. Let me play this for you. Time for the news brought to you by
Zomniac Media and Smush Ups have launched a Patreon at patreon.com/Zomniac. Subscribers can enjoy early releases of Smush Ups, exclusive Patreon-only content, and, coming soon, a loyalty subscription tier. This exclusive tier will reward patrons. This exclusive tier will reward patrons based on the length of their subscription with exclusive Smooshy merchandise.
Nice.
Of increasing value. Sorry, I had coffee and I shouldn't have taken a drink right before I read this. Of increasing value as long as you're subscribed. Please check out patreon.com/Zomniac, spelled just like it sounds, for details and more information about the loyalty tier. That's patreon.com/ZOMNIAC for even more smushy goodness. And don't forget, smushups.com for the RSS feed, or subscribe to Smushups on your favorite podcasting platform.
Very nice. Hey, check this out. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's a big mouthful. Here's a fun story for you. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, either Spencer's or a place called The Keyhole, which doesn't exist anymore. But
dirty.
Me and my junior high.
It sounds like a dirtier Spencer's.
It does sound dirty. The Keyhole was, and it was definitely, it was all like fake poop and fake barf and magic tricks and ninja
Pens
stars.
If you turn them the right way, the lady would undress.
Yes, and the liquid smoke and all that dumb stuff.
Yeah,
like all the stuff you'd see in the back of a comic book basically was what they sold there. But when you're a 12 to 13-year-old kid, it's the greatest stuff in the world, man. You just love it. So we'd go to the Keyhole at the mall, me and my friends. We'd get one of our parents to take us there. And if we had any money at all, we'd spend it either on an arcade or at the Keyhole. And at the Keyhole, we would always buy ninja stars if you could afford them. And these are like legit, like made out of metal, shaved down to be sharp, freaking ninja stars.
I mean,
well, you know what I mean. Like you could hurt somebody with these. You could
totally not made by some 12th grader in metal shop. Totally not.
Yeah, they're garbage for sure. But they were metal, and they would stab you if you threw it at somebody. Now, I don't think you can even sell that stuff now. Maybe you can. I just don't know it. But
you totally can. And the Keyhole is now a Chinese import shop at the mall, and they're probably still selling them.
I like those Asian import places.
I do too. Yeah, so many ceramic elephants.
Yeah,
that hold incense.
Everything's
it's like
knockoff.
a wall of them.
Yeah, just knockoff after knockoff in there. Anyway, we thought that was just so cool. So once in a while, you'd have enough money to get like your own, metal ninja star. but we also learned how to make our own. So this story has some nostalgia for me, all right? So here we go.
Okay, all right.
A man stabbed with homemade throwing star during downtown Pensacola fight.
So, Florida.
Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
Pensacola, Florida, folks. Isn't that where Justin's from, Pensacola, right? Or no?
Isn't he from Pensacola?
I think so. Or am I thinking might be thinking of Andrew Koniecki from the old instance. I can't remember. Somebody's from there. No, he was from Daytona. No, not Daytona. Some other town. I don't know. I thought Jury was from there. But anyway.
Clearwater. Clearwater is what people are saying in the chat room.
Clearwater. All right. There's no such thing in Florida. That's not true.
If you bring it in from Alabama, it is.
That's true. Maybe during the shutdown, it's clean. You hear all these waterways are so much cleaner right now because of the shutdown. But anyway, a man was arrested in downtown Pensacola after the victim says he stabbed him with a homemade throwing star, according to a police report. Robert Hartsock. It's backwards. Hartsock. Yeah. Age 28 of Pensacola is charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. I always love the term battery because it means something totally different in English.
Yeah.
2 different ways. It's great.
That's right.
An aggravated battery is one that you've overcharged, I guess. I don't know. Pensacola police report they responded to the corner of South Palafox Street and East Garden Street Thursday around 2 p.m. to find the victim holding Hartsock's face in a flower bed. Trying to drown him in flowers, I guess. I don't know.
Could you water my zinnias while you're at it?
Yeah, while you're there, could you do that? Oh, you guys check this out. Come on, lean in. Just lean over.
Oh, we got a little baby? Little baby?
No,
we got coffee.
We got baby tea.
Coffee baby. Look at the size of that mug.
I know, it's huge. It's got a big stormtrooper on it, too, on this backside that I can't turn around. Thank you, dear. It was very nice of you. Got my chicory tea there in the morning. Anyway, where was I? I don't know. Oh, what do you got there? Let me see. Oh, look, you got the 5. Is that the 500 or the 1500? I don't remember.
This is the 1500 episodes.
1500 episode.
Oh, wait.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
That can't be right.
It's the one mug I regret making the text so small on.
That is, yeah, it is the 1500 episode.
Yeah, the 500's got big fat 500 on it.
Right.
When we do our 2000, we'll do our 2000 as well, and it'll have something on it.
Yeah.
That's coming up. Holy crap.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the newest one I got was the the film sack mug with the white inside, the white
Oh, right, with the popcorn guy on the outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that one.
That one's
too.
pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we got, let's see, we're on episode 1929.
1929.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was wondering why it was called I know, tomorrow's 1930. I was wondering why it's called 1929B.
Oh, it's a long story. It's to remind me to fix something in the RSS feed later. It's
okay.
the only reason that tab is like that. I should have warned you why it was weird.
So tomorrow is 1930.
Yep. And well, technically Monday because we don't number the PMs anymore. So
right.
Monday is 1930.
Oh, perfect.
And we'll have Daryl on to celebrate 1930.
Can he do a live version of 1930? Can we just get 8 minutes of Daryl doing nothing but...
we force him to. Are you kidding? Hell yeah. He doesn't have a choice. Yes. He's doing it. I haven't talked to him, but we'll make him do it. Anyway, the victim states he was talking to someone when Hartsock walked up to him and started mouthing off to him. That's the thing you do.
Mouthing off. Hey, quit your mouthing off.
Yeah, quit mouthing off. My dad would say that a lot, actually.
Sassy pants.
Yeah.
I'll use my throwing star on you.
Yeah, homemade one. I made myself. Anyway, he says he pulled out what he said is a sharp object and came at him. According to the police report, the victim held Hartsock in a headlock. Hartsock in a headlock. That's great. Someone write that. That's a title. Hartsock in a headlock.
It feels like a rap song.
Yeah, if that's not today's title.
Hartsock in a headlock. Don't you know? Hartsock in a headlock. Don't you know?
Put your hands in the air. Put the Hartsock in the head mood. Yeah.
He held my face in a flower bed. Hartsock in a headlock.
Well, you've gone full Beastie Boys, have you?
I've gone full Beastie Boys, yes.
That's all right. Those guys are great.
That's the only rap I can impersonate. That.
It reminds me. I got to watch that documentary. Dang it.
Yeah.
Watch that today.
I
think
too.
Sometime sneaking in.
There you go.
Anyway,
you know how it is.
It's supposed to be great. All right. So yeah, it was a homemade thing because he got a cut on his arm. Anyway, we used to throw these around school, and kids who got caught with them would get them confiscated. If they were caught twice, they get suspended for 2 weeks. This was the deal when I was in junior high, and it was like the coolest contraband you could have. And if you looked into a teacher's desk, you know how teachers will collect shit the kids bring. Stuff.
A whole drawer full of throwing stars.
Yeah, and so you opened up. It's like throwing stars. I'm sure today it's like vape pens and, whatever stupid thing kids are doing. But back then it was like throwing stars and switchblades. That was a big one.
Mm-hmm. Cans of snuff.
Yeah. Just a bunch of suburban white kids with their switchblades. So lame.
Switchblade.
This is so lame.
It's a comb, teacher.
Yeah, it's a comb. I'm just combing my hair. And some of them were combs, and he would keep them. Oh, the other one were what are they? Not sling blade. That's what the fried taters.
I call it a Kaiser blade.
Kaiser blade. What am I thinking of? Flip, 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 flip. Flip, flip, flip,
Oh,
flip, flip.
Yes, butterfly knife.
Flip, flip, flip. Oh, butterfly knife. That's it. It didn't help me to do the movement. I enjoyed doing that, even though it was dumb. All right, moving on. Some history for you. A little bit of archaeological discovery for you today, Brian. Some science, okay? You want some science?
Okay. I want some science. Science!
Great. Did she blind you with it, or
She did.
Okay.
She did.
Here's the story.
Dr. Angus Pike.
Dr. Angus
the guy
Pike.
who screams science in Thomas Dolby's She Blind Me with Science.
Oh my gosh. Really? That's a real
he's a real doctor, Dr. Angus Pike.
I thought that was
Did
just
you think
Thomas
that was,
Dolby.
Thomas Dolby himself?
Yes.
No.
I didn't know this at all. This is a great piece of trivia to know. I'm going to share this far and wide.
Well, hold on. I'm double checking this because I want to make sure I get this right.
Anthony Fauci. No, just kidding.
Dr. Angus. All right, I might have the name wrong. Hold on a second.
Chatman, while he's looking that up in the chat, what's the over-under on Anthony Fauci getting fired?
Magnus Pike, not Angus Pike. Magnus Pike.
Magnus Pike. You sure that's not like a, I don't know, third wing opening raid tier in the upcoming patch or something?
If we don't take down Magnus Pike, we don't get the whole extra wing there.
I love that name.
Magnus. Such a better name than Angus Pike. Magnus Pike.
Yeah, Magnus Pike, man.
Yeah.
Magnus Pike.
Magnus Pike. He's
like
OBEFRSEFRIC. Nutritional scientist, governmental science advice, scientific advisor, and presenter.
She blinded me with advisement.
Right. Exactly.
All right, I love that. And also, I wish my doctor's name was Magnus. Sadly, it's like Dennis or something dumb. No offense, Dennis's.
Sorry.
No offense.
Anyway.
Scott's dumb, too. I admit it. It's dumb.
Science!
All right. Anyway, Ice Age giant sloths died in a pit of their own poo.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
How do you do your Ray Romano?
Oh. The first attempt came out wrong.
Except, wait. He was.
Oh, yeah. He was a mammoth.
Yeah, you got to do the.
I can't do
Leguizamo. Leguizamo was the sloth, right?
Yeah, I can't do him. Sid the Sloth, I don't know how to do his voice.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's well spitty and stuff. I usually hate that when people do a spitty voice, but he did good. He was good.
He did well, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the only one allowed to do it. But anyway, yeah. This was a giant sloth. During the Ice Age, a group of giant sloths died together, possibly after swallowing their own feces in a contaminated pool of shallow water. This is kind of a sad way to go. Scientists discovered the bones of nearly 24 ground sloths. These are the Eramothium lillardi.
Matthew Lillard, yes.
Matthew Lillard is their scientific species name.
That's right.
In a pit of fossil-rich site called, Tank Loma in southwestern Ecuador. The bones date to the end of the I'm not going to do this right.
Pleistocene.
Pleistocene?
Pleistocene.
Isn't that what my dashboard's made out of, or what is that? Pleistocene.
Well, you're thinking of plasticine, which is what little modeling clay that
I haven't opened.
I think
yet.
Harryhausen used to use was plasticine.
Yeah, I have a whole block of it over there that I haven't opened.
Pleistocene is. Have you unwrapped the clay yet?
No.
Nice.
This weekend.
You've basically created a monolith.
Yeah, I've created a block of. Now I just need some monkeys, and then I'm good.
Right, exactly.
It says it's a pit.
Pleistocene? I thought it was Pleistocene.
Is it Pleistocene?
They're saying Pleistocene. Okay, so it's. I was pronounced it Pleistocene.
It's not Pleistocene.
Pleased to see you.
Pleased to see you. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, what happened here? Oh yeah. So the condition of the sloth bones and their arrangement relative to each other hinted that the animals died around the same exact time. The scientists wrote in a new study, and preserved vegetation helped the researchers piece together the grim picture of a marshy watering hole saturated with poo that sickened and killed the sloths that gathered there. So they're all hanging out there, and they all ate their own poo and died. Dumb freaking animals. Yeah. Giant ground sloths
We're
once
trapped
roamed.
in here just pooping and eating, and it's like
It's slow.
sloth centipede.
Because they don't move very fast, right? They're
Right,
called
no, they
sloths.
move very slowly. Yes, if we learn nothing else about sloths.
Yeah. Says giant ground sloths once roamed the Americas and are kin to the much smaller tree sloths that are common today. The biggest ground sloth, called the Megalonyx jeffersoni. Megalonyx jeffersoni. They're performing this weekend only at the Palladium. Get down there and get your tickets. It's a great name.
Megalonyx jeffersoni starship.
Yep. Probably better than plain old starship. Anyway, they reached about 10 feet, 3 meters in height, and would have towered above a human. Massive herbivores. First appeared in South America about 35 years ago. Sorry, 35 million years ago. Shit. I mean, shoot. I shortened that by a lot.
By a lot, yeah.
And died out at the end of that era that we talked about earlier that I won't try to repronounce.
Pleistocene.
Thank you. The Pleistocene era, areola. What? Along with most other big ice mammals, such as mastodons, dire wolves, and cave lions. Now, I'm going to admit to something. It's a little embarrassing.
You killed all 3 of those in D&D on Sunday.
No, but you're not far from the tree here. I thought dire wolves were 100% a fantasy animal. I didn't know there was an actual dire wolf.
Raising my hand in solidarity, brother.
Oh, good.
Did not know that dire wolves were a real thing, but
I feel so much better now, knowing that you didn't know that either. Oh, more people in the chat. Same.
Yes.
Look, we all didn't know. Dire wolves, they're real. Yes. Some experts argue
next
humans...
you're going to tell me that saber-toothed tigers are real.
Right? Oh, my gosh. Who could believe... Wait, hold on, Brian. It says here, they're real.
What?
Everything I thought I believed is a lie. Let's see. Also, Scott and Elasian... What? Oh, I don't know what they're saying. I should stop looking at that. These guys are distracting.
Oh, it's a free hotel room. Hey, you made it.
Oh, he made it. Hey, you weren't here earlier when we made a joke about you. All right. What was I going to say? Oh, they think humans hunted these mega animals to extinction. That's probably why they're gone now. It wasn't just the pit of poo. There were plenty others that didn't make it to the pit.
Lannisters hunted down all of the dire wolves.
Yes, all of them. Finally, one by one, picked off. Other scientists say though that the animals were probably were vanished or had vanished because of global climate change. But for the Tango Loma sloths, death came for different reasons. A pit of poo.
Poop it.
Poop it.
Poop it.
Oh, I hated when they spent time there in 90210 in the poo pit.
Bob says, I heard a kitty died. Writing a hastily written response.
Oh, Bob.
We love you.
I hope somebody one day gives him a free hotel room. That's what I want.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want that for you, Bob. I want someone to say, hey, stay here for free. And you'll say, what? Me? At a free hotel room? And they'll say yes. And then you can tell us in your hastily written email here.
Exactly.
All right. Pennsylvania, home of the American vampires, is in the news once again.
Had to sit through a 3-hour timeshare demonstration.
I like how you're... Well, you've met him. Does he sound like that?
I have met. He does not sound a thing like that. No. But
I want him to be all gravelly and low like that.
yes, no, he's...
I don't get to choose.
Lovely. Had a lovely meal at Parisi in the Highlands.
Well, Bob, if you ever make your way through SLC and there's not a lockdown pandemic, I'd love to hang out with you as well so I can get my image of you correct in my head, because right now it's very different than Brian's. He knows what you look like. Well, I've seen pictures of you, and so I know that.
I sent you a photo, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that one was nude. It was distracting.
Hey, what happens in the Highlands stays in the Highlands. What happens in a free hotel room stays in a free hotel room.
All right, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania just became the third state in the union here in the United States, these states united, to ban child marriage. There are only 3 states that do this.
What? Why is there only... Why?
I know. I was
Why
shocked.
isn't that not reversed? 47 states, and now there are just 3 left, and Pennsylvania's one of the 3.
I don't like it one bit. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf on Friday. His middle name's Dyer, by the way. Tom Dyer Wolf.
Yeah. I don't think Tom Wolfs aren't real. I thought up until now Tom Wolfs were totally fictional.
No, they're just in Game of Thrones and stuff. On Friday, signed into law a ban on child marriage, making it the 3rd state to fully outlaw marriage for people under the age of 18. Only Delaware and New Jersey also ban child marriage. I was surprised by this. I figured they'd be like the last 3 to finally do it, not the only 3. Pennsylvania's legislature unanimously voted to approve the banned list, while Wolf signed it into law as part of the House Bill 360. Oh, they had some good games on that platform. Solid.
That's right.
The House Bill 360. Remember that thing? Man. Anyway,
such a great one.
I mean, the first Call of Duty, really, I cut my teeth on that House Bill 360. Anyway, it was set at the age of 18 as the minimum age to obtain a marriage license. Before the ban, an applicant younger than 16 could obtain a marriage license without court approval, and those between ages of 16 and 18 could obtain one with parental consent. I'm sorry, I said without. It's with in both cases. You could get it with court approval. And then 16, 18 with parental consent. So prior to 16, you basically have to go to the judge and say, "But I love him. Yeah, I love him. He loves me. You don't understand. I hate you, Dad." Like that.
It just dawned on me. We back in the early days, low 1,800 episodes ago of TMS.
Yeah.
The big thing we were talking about on almost a weekly basis was the Courtney Stodden and the dude from Lost.
What was his name?
I gotta look it up. Doug Hutchinson.
Doug Hutchinson.
How
are they doing now?
They divorced in 2020.
Oh, I can't hardly believe it.
I can hardly believe that they lasted that long.
I mean, Brian, what a shock this is to hear. She's currently 25. She was born in 94. But this was all happening when she was 17? 16?
Yeah, 16. 16 when she married 50-year-old Hutchinson.
Oh, 50. Yeah, he was 51 at the time. Now that makes him. I'm going to look him up.
Yeah, less than 2 months ago. Oh, well, just about 2 months ago. It's March 3rd, 2020 on her Instagram. Today I'm officially divorced from actor Doug Hutchison. It's an emotional day for me. God only knows how he's feeling, but I can tell you that it's for the better. I look back at this picture and feel absolutely taken advantage of. I've been scared to even speak up about feeling groomed or being verbally abused during the almost 10-year marriage because I was a child and he was 50 when we married. But I'm a woman now.
We were all saying that back then. We were all saying it. Everybody was saying it. The morning stream was saying it every day. Okay. I get that she and here's the truth. She probably was. Well, I guarantee that this was a weird thing, and no 52-year-old should have been quote unquote grooming or getting somebody to be his wife at that age. Okay, that's just freaking weird, and there's no way that was normal or anything. And in many ways, she is a victim of it for sure. But how'd you make it?
Yeah, right. The closing, boy, and she continues her mixed messaging in the closing sentences of her Instagram. And to Doug, I'll always love you, yet I'll always be angry. You've left me a child woman, feeling belittled and confused. These things I shall overcome. I wish you well, but please don't ever do this to another minor again. It's not right, even if the parent signs off. Wait a respectable amount of time before marrying. Children aren't on your level. I'll always love you regardless. Be better, as shall I.
I mean, I don't know anything about these people. But
like, has bipolar disorder ever been so eloquently
it's just so obnoxious.
Illustrated in 5 sentences in an Instagram post?
That's just so weird.
I love you, but I hate you.
Yeah, I love you're the best, but I think you're the worst.
I'll always cherish the time we had together. Don't ever do that again.
Don't ever do it again. It was an amazing time. It was the worst. Like, yeah, really, it is like the most two-faced thing I've ever heard of.
Yes.
But I guess I'm glad that that's over. I don't know. I feel like I got some closure because we talked about it so much in the early days. So finally, some TMS closure we've got on a story. Now we just need Charlie Sheen to do something to get closure for him.
That's right.
Then everyone will be better. We'll be all set.
The tiger blood has turned me into a new man.
But I still need hookers.
I need export actors. Now. But I love charity.
But I love boobs more.
Bobby Franks does nail it. In all seriousness, this is an illustration of the complexity of being taken advantage of at that age.
He's totally right.
100%,
He's totally right. Yeah. I mean, we're not. That's my whole point. We're not belittling that. Because first of all, we don't know a ton about it except that she was super gung ho at the time.
She was, and she was.
And I'm not saying that's the whole point of not allowing this to happen, because even a gung ho 16-year-old is not a mature adult. Like, who cares if they're gung ho? Like, stop it. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, anyway, I wish
this is why Pennsylvania should not just be the third state to ban this sort of thing.
Yeah, all y'all should do it. I think it seems like a common sense law to me.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Says here, setting the minimum. This is a quote from them. Setting the minimum age to obtain marriage license will help prevent child exploitation, says Governor Wolf in a press release on Friday. Marriage is a sacred and serious commitment that should be undertaken with love by two adults, not by children being exploited by unscrupulous adults.
There you go.
Then he went on to say, I don't quote it here, but he went on to say, take Doug Hutchinson as an example.
Your Honor, I implore you. Doug Hutchinson.
He says, I liked Lost as much as the next guy, but that guy was weird. Okay, we're going to take a break, I think. Yeah, we got time for a song here. Right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Therapy Thursday with my sister. I'm looking forward to this one. We have actually a little surprise for Wendy as well that I want to read to her, so we'll do that in a minute. But we can't do any of it until we do our fiduciary duty of playing a song, and Brian will play it now. What do you have?
Yeah, so I've made no hints about loving the band Branches. Big fan of the band Branches, and so whenever they put out something new, it's always one of the first things I check out. And in this case, they have not let me down at all. I love this thing, and boy, it comes at the perfect time. They've just released a song yesterday called "It'll Be Okay," and then parentheses, Mr. Rogers.
Oh, wow.
You can get it on all the major platforms, your iTunes, your Amazon.
You don't know what it's like to be poor.
Take the path that movies make.
Do dogs have brains? Because I'd like seriously wanted to know. This is the Morning Stream.
Whoops, I was muted. I loved that song. That was amazing.
Yeah. Now all I can think of is Batman pooping snakes. Thanks a lot, Scott.
That's all I can ever think about.
Once again, Branches, the brand new song, came out yesterday called "It'll Be Okay," available on all of your major platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you get your music, you can find that new one by Branches.
I loved that. Loved it.
Yes.
It was so good. I needed to hear that today. That was really, really nice. And I'm going to make my middle daughter hear it so that she'll cry today. So I'm sending her that.
She will. Guaranteed.
Yeah. I'll say, you have to listen to this.
I have a link if you want it.
I sent her the MP3.
So perfect. Okay,
hopefully she'll hear that in her phone if it works. Yep, there we go.
Nice.
All right. Well, hey, we've come to the point of the show where we get to help people with some problems, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to do and good for you. I don't know if it's fun to do. Well, it is fun to do. It can be. You know,
it's definitely fun to help people with their problems.
Yeah, it's not hard. You know, it's not something we don't want to do. We do want to do it. It's not always a laugh riot, but it's it's a good time. Let's see if I can. Oh, she's offline. Let's see if that's a problem or not. Shouldn't be. Let me text her and say.
I love Blue Ridge John in the chat room. It is like it's like being on the Enterprise and having Data there. So he basically said, think of Batman pooping snakes. The original lyrics were, take the path that moonbeams make.
Yeah.
Take the path that moonbeams make.
Yeah, but it sounds like...
God, I cannot even say that.
Picture Batman pooping, or think of... Here, mate.
Take the path that moonbeams make.
All I hear is think of Batman pooping snakes.
I'll play one more time because now I was reading the actual lyrics.
Okay, so now you have the right one in your head, right? So we're going to try it again.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Take the path that moonbeams make.
I can't do it.
Think of Batman pooping snakes.
I can't do it. I tried. It's
actually way easier to say than take the path that moonbeams make.
Yeah, it's
I can't even say it.
I think that's partly why it sounds weird. Is it's just an unnatural sentence. The real one's just a weird combo of words, and yeah. I love original lyric misunderstandings. They're one of my favorite things in the world.
Mondegreens is what those are called.
Sorry, I got a message from Rusty Jeep. Hope he's still in the chat. No worries, Rusty Jeep. All good. I was worried my schedule was messed up. All right, let's see. I still can't get her in here. I don't know where she might be. Okay, I'm going to say, are you, everything okay? Okay, all right. So we're paused on the audio. I was going to ask you a question about Tom Merritt. I don't know if you knew this or not, all right?
Okay.
Yesterday it was revealed to me during DTNS because Sarah told us, and I'd never heard this before. But did you know that Tom Merritt only types with his index fingers?
Oh, really?
Tom Merritt, tech maven of the internet, only types with these two fingers. And he's fast.
Has he not met Mavis Beacon?
I know Mavis would be so pissed if she was real.
Yes. I use these 6 fingers.
I use every finger I have.
Do you? I do not. I basically type like this.
Yeah, and you're a decent fast typer.
I'm a decent fast typist too. Yeah, I just I even took a year of typing in high school, and it just didn't stick. I couldn't home row. Screw you, home row. I'm doing my own thing.
So you just ignore the F and the J's little nubs that are on those. You don't use those.
I know. I do like the F and the J nubs.
Yeah. The J nubs. Oh, J nubs. That was a great rap.
And I think if I actually looked at the keyboard.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I take that back. If I kept from looking at the keyboard, I probably would type just fine. But I do have to look at the keyboard when I type. Does Tom typing with his index fingers, he doesn't do that blind, right? He has to look at the keyboard, right?
He has to look at the keyboard, I believe.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah. My dad used to be double bird down. So he would he would type with his middle fingers and he got along okay, but he had to look at the keyboard the whole time. In my case, I can blind type, use all my I guess I somehow figured out the right way to do it without really working too hard at it, because when I was in school I hated that class. But yet somehow it stuck and I did okay.
What is the best typing tutor program? Is it the zombie typing tutor? What was that? It was House of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead. That was it Mavis Beacon.
That was a cool thing. Typing of the Dead was awesome. That was a cool game. Oh, I think Wendy's here. Wendy, you here? Oh, hi.
Listening.
Oh, no, you're fine. We were just talking about typing, and we had made reference to how Dad used to middle bird type. Remember that? How he always used his middle finger, and that was it?
Do you know what? My husband has started doing that on like like in the car we have the screen. He uses his middle finger, and I'm like, is this what happens suddenly when dudes are 40 something?
Yeah, they're in their 40s, mid 40s, and they start poking stuff with their middle finger. Yep. That's what
What is that about? I keep thinking I should tell him to stop, but I have.
But part of you wants him to never stop flipping everybody off by accident.
I hate it. It's so weird.
It is really weird. But Dad never could type unless he was just middle fingers and looking at the keyboard. And maybe that's why I learned how to type well, is I didn't ever want to do that. To me, it looked just crazy and weird, like a psycho person using a keyboard for the first time. And I think maybe that's when it locked into my head, and I said, I am going to learn how to type, and all my fingers will work, and I will never look at my keyboard. And I don't know how else it would work, because my grades were garbage and everything, including my typing classes. But that was just because I didn't want to do my homework. But I don't know. Now I can probably do 85, 90 words per minute or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Not every word will be spelled properly, but that's another thing I got from my dad.
A fun human thing to experience is like you saw your parents do something and you're like, I'm going to do it different. Then you do it different or better, faster, whatever. And then you become a parent and you're watching your kids and you're going, oh, they're going to do that way better.
Yeah. Yep. And they're going to say that they're going to do it different because I don't want to be like my dad or whatever. But then they're going to do it anyway. They just don't know it yet. Yeah.
It's just weird how
weird.
I didn't want to learn it from you, Dad. I didn't want to learn it from you.
It's almost like we don't have free will at all, which is not today's topic, thankfully. We're not going to talk about that.
We should talk about that sometime.
We should. That'd be a good discussion.
Genetic predisposition. Yeah. There's lots of fun.
I'd be into that. I'd totally be into talking about that. That'd be fun.
All right. Someone write an email about being predisposed and having no free will.
Yeah. Give us a good argument for or against, and we'll talk about it. All right, here's our theme.
Something wrong, Batman? Has anybody seen Wendy?
All kids are little cheating, sneaky little butts.
It's true. All right. Hey, so...
that was me editing myself, by the way.
I know. Well, yeah, you were going to say something a lot worse, weren't you?
What were you going to say? I don't even know. Hold on. Now I'm curious. Let me go.
Something wrong, Batman? Has anybody seen Wendy?
All kids are little cheating, sneaky little butts.
So and then sneaky came
I think bastards was going to be in there.
Yeah.
Was it bastards?
It was first shits, and then it was bastards.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I changed both of them. Everyone, look at me.
Yeah.
Live, like editing on the fly. See, take that, Mavis Beacon.
My mother-in-law listens, so I would know.
Does she really listen to the show? Is that true?
I think she has in the past. I hope not anymore. I don't know.
Mom doesn't know. Our mom doesn't know how to do it, so it's fine.
No.
I talked to her on Mother's Day, and it's like she's actually doing okay during all this, weirdly. Like, I don't know. You talk to her more than I do, and she doesn't really tell me anything.
I think she's just embracing don't get dressed and lay on the couch. Like, I think she's you're 82.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, all right, time to catch up on everything online.
Yeah. And she sent me the reply to my text at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, she's doing a little bit of the self-imposed jet lag problem, where people just stay up later and later, and then they don't have to get up for any reason, and so they just sleep in, and then they literally are on like Tokyo time.
That seems bad in the long term.
It is bad. It's not good for anyone, and it is common, man. My kid is attempting to do it, and we are fighting him.
Oh yeah,
so hard. Because you're a teenager, you need more sleep anyway, and so.
We've talked about it before, but Nick totally did that. Tristan did that big time, Brian. The way Brian would describe it, like they find a way to shift time so that they can stay up till 3 and then sleep in till noon. They're on their own timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
here's the thing: I secretly like it because they're not around.
Yeah, exactly. See, you like it, but as a good parent, you can't let it happen. I get it. At least you're honest. All right, hey, before we read this email today, I have a surprise secondary email that I'm going to read that has nothing to do with any of this, but it's just something as a reply to you. So this came from Talon TA, who says, I was listening to the show last week, and you mentioned the Dorito salad with Wendy, and it reminded me of the taco salad my sister made. It consisted of the following. So check this out. This actually sounds kind of good right now. But anyway, ground beef and chili beans cooked together, crushed Doritos. All right, so crushed, not just the whole chips, which is what my mom did. Lettuce, tomato, onion, Thousand Island dressing, taco sauce, and then she would mix this all together in one big bowl. And it was still a pretty good taco salad, they say.
Sounds fantastic. I want to make it right now. Yes.
Yeah, this is a good
At least there's some beans in it. There's some.
There's some vegetable. Yeah.
And a tomato.
I mean, that was what was jacked up about the thing Mom made and the thing you made that you talked about last week was that it just was lettuce and Doritos and dressing. Like it was just. And
I think one time she put tomatoes or olives, and we about killed her.
Yeah, we're like, what is this? You can't put these extra things in here. So anyway, wanted to get that out of the way. Here is our actual email.
Sour cream on there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
This email says, "Dear TMS and Wendy," I assume Brian and I are included in the first part there.
Whatever.
Says, I have a big concern about my wife since all this pandemic stuff has gone down. All of us have been frustrated, but she seems to be in a very deep depression. She used to be the most energetic of our family, and now it seems like I am the one keeping everyone's spirits up, and she has started to get out of bed as late as noon most days. Well, speaking of getting up at noon. I am taking on most of the kid care since this started. I have 2 little boys, 3 and 6, and it's starting to be too much. I want to help her and not have her feel more burdened by all of this, but I need the teamwork if I'm going to make it through this. She's never been like this before and has always been the most bright and cheery outlook of any of us in the family. Suddenly she is filled with sadness and and won't really talk to me about it. What do I do or what should I do? They want to be referred to here as G. All right, so I want to help out G because this sounds extra hard because it isn't a kind of thing where you can just turn your back on it, right? You're trying to be sensitive to it. You're trying to understand it. In some ways, he probably feels it too, but it's still just, making it happen. There was a time in my 30s where he is Kim and I am his wife. I went through a little period there where it was real rough. And I remember it seemed like she just kind of had to carry it for a little while there. And it's a long story. We don't have to get into it now. But, I look back on it and I just feel terrible that Kim felt that or had to feel that burden during a time where I was, out of it. So I understand this from that other angle, and there'll come a day where she'll really appreciate what he's doing. But what do you want to say to G in the short run during the pandemic? The kids are home. There is no school, like all that stuff. Where do we want to go with this?
Well, and I'll get into more sort of prescriptive ideas of things to try and do. But I first want to just sort of talk about the biology of potentially what's happening. So everyone feels this in some way, right? And we can maybe describe it. I feel like one of the things I'm working on a lot with clients is to identify how it's affecting them, rather than just this generic, like, yeah, it's rough, like pandemic, or, because everyone has varying experiences with whatever, depending on their workload or not enough work or kids or no kids or lonely or too busy or not busy, all the things, right? So, and then wherever you may live, like just the vibe in your community can just be really alarming and stressful and scary, or it can be not, or we're all in this together. So you're like, yeah, whatever. But to actually identify the pieces of this and how it's affecting you. So, and this is maybe for everybody, and I'm going to ask you guys to do it first. Can you just identify one emotional cost or price? And it can be subtle. It doesn't have to be a big old one. It could be kind of anything or toll is maybe a better way to put it, that this has had on you. It could be someone close to you if you want to describe someone else, but.
Well, I'm totally eating my feelings lately.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say the exact same freaking thing, actually, because I weighed myself today. I was so annoyed because when this thing started, I was working my way down. I was at 270 last October. I was down to 239, right? Feeling good about my trajectory, working on 220. That's where I want to be. That's where my doctor wants me to be. So I'm like, all right, we're going to go to 220. This thing happens, and at first I'm okay. It's all right. And then I start a little too carby here and there. Don't really think too much about it. I weigh myself this morning. I'm back up to 247. Like, what the crap? It's almost 10 pounds. So I'm super annoyed with myself over that. And a lot of people are like, hey, it's a pandemic. Don't worry about it. Put on a few extra pounds. We all are.
All rules are off. It's totally fine.
And I just think to myself, yeah, that's an easy way to talk myself out of this. But, I'm really angry about that. So for me, it's been this weird anxiety, existential anxiety about a big health crisis happening, and then me not being super good about my own health during it.
Yeah.
That's a weird dichotomy.
So boil. Oh my gosh. Boil.
Yeah.
Boil that down to a 1 or 2 word emotion. Can you identify it?
Yeah. What would you call that, Brian?
I mean, it's because it's not like I'm eating because it makes me feel better. It's maybe just restlessness. How's that word? Restlessness?
Restless, okay.
It's not bad. For me, it's like
restless gluttony.
Ooh, I like it.
What is the word? What is the word for feeling like you don't have control of anything?
Lack of discipline.
Well, that's
but just out of control. That would be a feling.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have control over anything in the world. So how can I control anything? Like I have no control. Yeah. It's not like I can't control myself. I got to eat that pizza. It's not like that. It's just more like I can't.
That pizza's not gonna eat itself.
Like I can't. Yeah, helpless. Helpless is a good one where you feel like there's not much you can do to do anything. And I know Kim feels this way because she has filled her world with. Like the first few weeks were really hard for her, really, really hard. And now what she does is constantly builds little packages of a combination of like there's a soda in there and some candy. And then maybe the candy the thing is crushed and it'll say, I hope you really crush on this gift or whatever. And then she'll wrap it in a bow and put it all in plastic and then take it to somebody, leave it at the door, and just do. This is what's making her feel like she has some control.
Wow.
Is by taking things to other people in ways that are socially distant, yet, hey, we're thinking about you. And I love that she does it, but I know why she's doing it. And it isn't just for the pure, like, the charity of it. It's her. She feels like she can do something.
Mechanism for her as well.
Yeah, I think I think it's totally a coping mechanism for her, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I think it's a very positive thing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do those things. These classes we do on Fridays are part of that, or on Saturdays with Carter. That's me trying to do a thing that's free and open and welcoming, and but it's a coping mechanism, I guess. And so I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what that is for themselves. And some days you just don't feel like you have any.
Yes. And that's the obviously very common, I think, obviously a very common element of this that is unusual for a lot of people. And this gets back to our emailer. So he's describing her as often bubbly and cheery and the one that kind of brings the laughs and holds everyone together and, alive and peppy and all those things. Right. And so whatever this has meant to her and whatever feelings that she's having, she's not sharing them. If she's not talking to him, maybe she's talking to someone else, but my guess is she's not. And so what I just wanted to show by asking you guys to identify a feeling in one or two words is that humans generally, unless we have really high emotional intelligence and been trained since we were young, we're not great at connecting what we're experiencing with a word. But it is incredibly powerful. This is dumb to simplify therapy to this one thing, but this is pretty much the secret to the sauce. To be able to feel something, identify it, say it out loud, and have the person respond with empathy and care and non-judgment, right? So if we're crappy at that, then what tends to happen when we're having way too much going on, and people can have a pandemic version of all the stuff happening at once in their lives, and often they'll burn out or they'll have a mental health episode that they need, sort of immediate treatment for, or there's lots of things that can come from that. But we're doing this all at once, everybody. And so I think what we're seeing, and of course I can't wait for all the research to be done so I can not be making it up as I go, but this idea that especially folks who their other coping strategies really revolved around communal gathering in some way, the things that have just been shut down. And so then there isn't a lot of maybe training, especially if she's just been happy all the time, right? Maybe not a lot of training or understanding what to do when she's not okay, right? And I think that's sometimes the most surprising, when someone seems to be really resilient and fine and like, oh, they're great. And then something happens and we hardly recognize them. They don't recognize themselves either because they maybe haven't practiced understanding those darker feelings, or they've pushed those darker feelings away, right? And now it's just too much. It's like sort of it's rushing over you, and it's the day-to-day relentlessness of this, right? It's the same. Now, you have a 3 and a 6-year-old. I'm going to tell you right now. Those are hard ages. People keep saying to my face, well, online face, oh, I'm just so glad my kids aren't your kids' ages. You've said it. Misha said it. Every single neighbor I have has said it. A stranger I saw walking my dog said, oh, I think about you guys when we pass your house. I'm like, you don't even know us. And I'm thinking about you doing school with all 4 of your kids. I'm like, you're creeping me out. Why do you know all this stuff? Well, it's because all 4 of us are outside walking our dang dog all the time.
Right.
Anyway, but the idea being like, that's you perceive someone else's situation as harder, maybe for good reason. But my version of this is I projected on people who have 3 and 6-year-olds and 2-year-olds and babies, and just how tough the lack of socialization. It's hard enough when you're parenting small children to get enough socialization for yourself, especially, but also for them to have adult conversations, to feel like the work you're doing is meaningful. It's already low-grade depression to be a parent of young children. And to do this kind of parenting in this situation is got to be full-blown depression. And here's what I'm wondering for our emailer too, is that often in couples, they'll play a balancing act, and it's almost unconscious. It's not like you're maybe even thinking about it, where one will be okay because the other one's not. And you have to, right? Someone's got to make dinner.
Right.
Someone's got to put the kids to bed. If both of you zonk out and you're both depressed and no one's getting up till noon, well, your house will be on fire because the kids will have lit the house on fire.
Yeah.
And so you can't do it. So he is now taking on all the more because she is unable to. And there's no communication happening between them, which means he's very much more alone. She's alone, and he's very much more alone because they haven't figured out yet how to communicate what they're feeling and what they're doing. Now, often couples aren't good at this, right?
Yeah.
We don't get married because we've had very deep, dark, emotional conversations. We've usually gotten married because we have a lot of fun together, right?
Yeah.
And then later, when real life hits, it's a skill you have to gain together. So this is tricky. Because how do you start during a pandemic, right? So a couple of suggestions. First of all, do you guys have any thoughts? I mean, you can put yourselves in his shoes a little bit. Any thoughts of what you would try with your own wives, or you feel like you've read somewhere? What are your
sunlight? Just getting outside, even if it's in socially distant ways, going to parks or going for a walk. I mean, sunlight, vitamin D is proven to be a mood booster.
Yeah.
So that would be an absolute way of.
It's also quickly being proven to be important in people who get this stupid disease because it people with more moderate or higher
bright
levels.
Light. Could we get some sunlight inside their bodies? Shine a bright sunlight.
Well, the vitamin D thing seems to be for real. At least people who have more severe symptoms if they're low in vitamin D. So that's a good. I like that. Getting outside helps me.
Fresh air, does wonders for me too.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm now going to ask a really hard second follow-up question.
Uh-oh.
How do you, now I want you to imagine your wives.
Yeah.
Knowing
Not
the
wanting to leave the house. Yeah.
The complexity of the female psyche. And you are going to get them to go outside and tell them all about the benefits of vitamin D. How are you going to do that?
Oh, man.
I go to the window and I say, oh my God, Richard Marx is shirtless and he's standing across the street.
Wow. This came up earlier. Brian does not think about Richard Marx all the time. I promise.
No, this is like I've thought about Richard Marx twice now in the past 2 hours, and then not at all in the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's important to note.
Bringing it back.
I mean, I don't know if there is a good way. What
you just got to say, you got to trust me. I mean, if Tina was in this situation and I said, you just need to trust me. Just this once, do what I'm saying. It's going to help you. She'd do it, even though she'd be doing it begrudgingly. Like, no, I just want to sit here. I don't want to get out. But she'd do it if I said, you just got to trust me and get up and get out.
Yeah.
Okay. Good one, Brian. Okay, so I'm going to riff on that for a second.
Okay.
So when you are this guy in the email and you are watching your partner sort of become a different person, it's really scary. It's like the person the things that just were a given before are gone. And there's some grieving that you sort of have to do in real time. And you're maybe angry and maybe you're confused. And this is where we get a little messed up when we're trying to get them to get better. It's actually kind of tied to the bargaining part of grief a little bit of just like, if you just only, and this is why often I think depression has been so misunderstood is we have all had bad days. And then we all know like, oh, if I just get up and go and do something, maybe if I shower, I'll feel better. So we all have this, folksy wisdom within us that is not helpful for the most part when you are talking to someone who's depressed, because it actually is not what is the most helpful, but it would be. I'm not saying the vitamin D is not great, but that's why I asked the second question. How do you help the person get the things that they need? And part of that is being very careful with where you are actually at. So I'm going to start with treating him first before he treats her. Now, if you can trick your wife, like I think it would work for me if you put like red vines, you made like a trail outside. I would go outside. So you
like
can be
walking like all fours out the front door into the front. You're like, what? How did I get here?
Yeah, and just some kind of trick to do some good things for yourself. Like, hey, you're going to take the boys to the park. You don't like say, hey, do you want to go with us? Mm-hmm. You put the kid on your back and you both kids on your back, and you get on your knees and you're in the room wherever she is, and you start walking out. You're like, I'm gonna go the whole way to the park like this on my knees, and then just walk out with a dead serious face or something. Like, you trick her, fine, great. That's like whatever, but you cannot have the energy, which I know you already have, to get her to do these things. And so let me talk to him first. What was his letter?
G.
G.
Is the letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, G money. This is what you're going to do. You got to start with your emotions. And this is so weird, right? Because you think, no, it's her. If she were just chipper again, or if she could just get out of bed, or if she felt better, this would all be fine. And I understand that. That's exactly what we all would want, right? But you got to start with you. And so I'm going to send this to Scott. It's, I don't know how I find this picture.
Just paste it.
Picture. Anyway, it's from calm.com, which is my favorite meditation app.
Oh, calm.com, right. Got it.
Anyway, it is a picture of a feeling, the feelings wheel is what it's called. And it kind of starts with kind of the main, like, surprised, bad, fearful, angry, disgusted, sad, and happy. And then it's like a color wheel. It just goes from there. And so all the ways you can feel happy, and all the, very nuanced ways of experiencing anger or fear or bad or sad or whatever. Because I want him to start this first, to really check in with himself about how he's feeling. And I get it. You have a 3 and 6-year-old. You haven't spent 5 seconds to stop and think. So put the kids to bed, take a nap. I don't know, whatever you got to do. And spend a little time assessing how you're feeling. Also, look at your support system. Do you have a friend to talk to? Do you have family that's supportive? It could be people that know and love her as well, because that's really helpful to they know how great she is. So your support, your access to your feelings, it's the putting the mask on yourself first idea, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you do a little work there, and then, because when we're coming from the, I just need you to get better, it's really about us, of course, right? Of course we want you to feel better, but I also need you to feel better because I have a 3 and 6-year-old and I'm doing this alone, right? Mm-hmm. And so giving yourself a little oxygen, right? Like, you matter, this matters. In fact, if you can take off for some time, and she's going to be fine. Make sure she's awake and she's with the kids. There is some balancing that can happen. If, of course, let me throw this caveat out. If she is suicidal, I don't know if you would know that because she isn't speaking. So maybe it's better that you wait till the kids are taking.
That was a really good question, because I meant to ask it earlier and forgot. But I mean, how do you know it's not a clinical? I mean, I guess in this case, the indication is that she has always been the one that's been up and ready and let's go.
Yeah.
And so
yes.
Seems
and
like
I'm really quick. I'm going on the assumption that she is not actively suicidal, and then we'll get to what to do if she might be. Okay. So this is mainly like, she's just sleeping until noon. She's just feeling bummed. It's, she's feeling depressed, obviously. And that's what's tricky. She isn't talking. So we don't really know.
Yeah.
So that self-care really is going to matter. So my guess is he's overeating, under exercising, and is stressed, and isn't doing the things that would normally sort of calm his brain or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So to take stock of yourself, what's your support system look like? What are how are you actually feeling and doing? And then reach out to your support system. Then also get some information. Now, what would be ideal is if you found her someone to talk to. Now, maybe it's somebody already in her life who she really loves and is connected to and can be honest with. But anyone who's always happy might have lots of strategies to not actually say how they feel. So I don't know. Maybe the chipper was to sometimes manage the sad. And so this is all just very new, and expressing feelings, especially hard ones, could be, very, very early on for her.
Right.
So, there's lots of resources online. I mean, that's all anyone is doing now. You can find a therapist who will see her online. One thing to do is contact your insurance company, find a list of providers, find who's doing online stuff. And there are support groups. There are, NAMI, NAMI I think it's .org, might be .com, National Association for Mental Illness. Tons of research on depression and what to do. It's endless, the amount of resources for COVID-19 specific things that are happening for people. So I just want him to think in order, though. The order, because I get it. You are with little children. Every day is really difficult. So it's hard to do what I'm saying, which is do some self-care and self-assessment and make sure you're okay. Because right now you have to be okay whether anyone likes it or not. Right. And we want you to actually be okay, not just to be forced to be okay. So, support, taking care of your own emotions, taking care of your own health. And you're, of course, worried about the kids, right? So by extension, then you're also making sure they're okay. Because it's impossible. Maybe we should be clear. It's impossible to do all of this and do it all alone. Right. And somehow you're doing it.
Right.
And we're running the risk that he'll burn out. Right.
Yeah. And then there's the kind of resentment he'll feel later. I mean, that'll take a long time to either fix, or those kinds of things can lead to broken relationships and divorces and everything else. And I feel worried for them for the future, because 10 years from now, when this is not a thing anymore, hopefully, what did this time do to their relationship? Did they become closer, or did the hardship of it make them appreciate each other more? Or 10 years from now, does he still have lingering regrets about that time that he had to raise the kids alone? And I don't know.
Right. And one of the things, we're really missing a very crucial component here, and that is her thoughts.
Yeah.
She isn't talking. We don't know actually what she's feeling. And this leads to the suicidal situation. If that is where her thoughts are going, we need to know, right? And there's hotlines in every state. Most countries have their own. There's a national hotline also in the United States. Most cities have pretty good resources. This is on the suicidal thinking, and then suicidal behavior is on the rise during COVID. Spring has always been a terrible time for suicide statistics, and which is always strange. People think it would be winter, right? But it is spring. Wow. Yeah. And so that's on the right, but compared to other years, it's high. And so there are people who are fully aware and trained and know exactly what to tell you and help you with. So if you want to call the hotline yourself to get information and ask questions, obviously that's a great resource. But here's where most of us make this mistake. And I've made this mistake, and I'm a flippin' therapist. And that is, you wait until it's bad, right? We do this with tires or whatever, your teeth, whatever your thing is that you think, it doesn't hurt that bad. Yeah. And then we wait until it's pulsating and you can't function. And therapy is very similar, or getting the help, and the support we need. Sometimes we just hang on. We just keep doing it. We're willing to go so far. But that puts you and those kids at risk if you think you can keep doing it all on your own. And you have been, obviously. And yet there comes maybe a breaking point. So hopefully this email is a little bit breaking point. And you can do some work. And even if it's just that you start to talk to somebody, that can be very helpful if she's unwilling, so that you can get the support and the relief emotionally and connection and ideas and feel supported, so that you can continue to do this. This is parenthood generally, everybody. We just are now parenting with 1,000 pounds on our shoulders. And it's already hard to do. It's already hard to be present for a 3 and 6 year old. Boys, I know boys, they need to run, right? Like this is tricky. And so it really is a matter of seeing this as an emergency for yourself first, and then get the tools that we can help her. Now, can you get her outside and get some sunshine and be hanging out with the kids and yeah, hopefully that's great. But that will not magically fix anything, nor will, this is not a kind of thing. It takes a while to get into the depths of this. And though this is quick onset, it's the thinking starts to just do what it's doing. And so to break through some of that thinking takes work. This unfortunately isn't come out of it as quickly. Now, it would be awesome. The epidemic is over and everything's fine. And let's go back to normal life. There will be ramifications for the last 8 weeks for everyone. Even if everything was normal tomorrow, I think you would all be a little bit surprised at how you would be feeling at various times. You'd be surprised that it had the impact that it does. Mm-hmm. But it's not ending. And there's new versions of things and new things to be scared about, and opening up, states are opening up and doing different things. And, everyone's kind of left on their own to figure this out, how they feel and what they're doing. So I guess the call is really to anybody to really check in and do a little research and trust that this is impacting you somehow, and sort of be careful, use your support networks, etc.
Right. That seems like good advice. I'd really like to hear back from this guy. I hope this helps. I don't know. I'm just worried about him. Those little kids are little, but they're also super impressionable, and so it's kind of a time for them. They need to see parents getting along, and don't want to see mom all sad all the time. And I don't know. Yeah. Just feel for him. Anyway, let us know how it goes. In the meantime, use those resources Wendy talked about, and make sure to check out realsteps.org, which Wendy runs with her cohort, and it's awesome, and you should check it out. When did you say you were going to take new people? I can't remember. So
they can sign up now, and if anyone just wants more information, they can reach out to me through that as well. Our next round will be in August, and it's been interesting seeing how the pandemic has sort of affected what we're trying to do, and it's been interesting because it's tweaked how we see certain things. And I think we're a lot more emotion based and like strength based stuff versus than we might have been otherwise. I don't know. We'll see how it impacts us overall, but it's been good. And it's nice to have a community where we're all just trying to stay healthy while we're just eating red wine.
It's interesting timing. You guys started all that stuff like right when this started happening.
Yeah, fortuitous.
Yeah. So anyway, awesome stuff. We will look forward to next week. Maybe next week we do that thing on what was it again? It was on you said it would be a real do we have free will? Get your emails in. I want to hear. We want a good jumping off point on the idea of free will. That could be interesting. All right, Wendy. Thanks for hanging with us. Say hi to the family, and we'll see you next time.
Well, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Well, now that we've done that, there's only this left to do. Couple of shout outs. Quick, a special shout out to the we'll call him the guy who's the health/fasting guy. He always sends me good advice. And he wrote in and says, I was wondering if there's any possible way you could get something mentioned for my brother Jeremy, I guess with an
Jeremy? I think it's Jeremy. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's spelling for that. Anyway.
Yeah, except I'd lean towards pronouncing it Jeremy, but Jeremy. Once you say it, it's like, oh yeah, okay, that's a good way to spell Jeremy.
Different Jeremy. Anyway, he says he passed away very recently. I was going to email sooner, but it's been a whirlwind in the last 7 to 10 days. He passed away on the 3rd of this month to an overdose, and he went without oxygen for around 10 minutes. I'd appreciate a quick mention on TMS if that's possible. I'm listening since 2009. You guys have got me through some really rough times, and I'd like to say thanks. He also set up a GoFundMe to help with funeral expenses and that sort of thing. We are happy to mention that as well. So the name Jeremy is going to be an easy thing to search for, actually. Jerimi.
AMI. Jerami.
AMI, sorry. What did I don't know how I get that wrong.
You said IMI.
IMI. You are you.
I am I.
Anyway,
we are we, and we are all together.
He says he didn't feel good about linking it to the tadpole, but dude, don't worry. We're a big family here. You absolutely can do those sorts of things, and we're happy to mention this. And I'm really sorry about your brother. That I can't imagine anything worse than losing a family member right now. So be best and feel at least some comfort knowing that the tadpole's got your back over here. Also mentioned I need to make this more clear on the show too. If you've got cool projects that you're working on and you're a little creator doing some cool things, we're trying to help other creators get their word out on the stuff they make and do. And so here's one that came in. You can just do this at the site, frogpants.com/TMS. This is Sean Allred from Charlotte. I actually know a Sean Allred. He's my brother-in-law's brother. His name's Sean Allred. Anyway, says, hey guys, I love the idea of sharing other shows out there. My podcast is called Cheap Seat Reviews. It's a movie review podcast. I started it after listening to Film Sack for several years. You guys are the best. So again, that is Cheap Seat Reviews. Thanks, Sean from Charlotte. I'm happy to mention that. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts. So go check it out. Movie review show. I'm sure it's
Very
good.
Cool.
Yeah. Again, if you want to get yours in, frogpants.com/TMS, where you can also find every other link for things that we do. Tomorrow, because of your patronage at patreon.com/TMS, you get a TMS PM, at least those who support us. So you'll be able to come and see it live. We put a little private link in Patreon, and you can get the show afterwards as well. That's an exclusive reward for patrons. Patreon.com/TMS. All right, Brian,
right.
We should play a song and go.
Yes, not all of you get it, just the special ones.
the special ones.
Tom Robinson wrote in. I had met Tom Robinson several times over the years at various events, BlizzCon and Nerdtaculars, things like that. He says, hello, Brian. Oh, and Scott, too. As I work from home on day 45 of California's shelter-at-home order, I hear a band I recognize playing a cartoon theme song I haven't heard in 40 years. I think the Frog Pants world needs to hear it as well. Stay safe.